The last of the piston helicopters. The early 60s saw a transition away from piston powered helicopters to gas turbine powered helicopters, which were much more powerful, more fuel efficient, and the engines weighed a lot less, allowing much greater payloads and speeds to be achieved. So here we have a repaint of a Model 44 or a CH-21 Flying Banana. This is the Altaya kit. I've repainted that in the Madagascan early 1960s brackets, copied from the British early 1960s helicopter scheme of light ochre and dark green. The light ochre is a Vallejo colour and the dark green is the Tamiya colour. Then I've repainted this Altaya CH-34, which was sort of a shiny blue French scheme, into the Madagascan early 60s Navy helicopter scheme. White top and blue undersides. This is Prussian blue, very similar to the Australian one. Think of the old frog. I've already covered the CH-37 there, but I missed those black spots on the front of the engine and the cells, so I fixed that. And then of course we have the Airfix Whirlwind Venerable Vintage Classic kit, which I absolutely love. I've got one more of those to build. So yes, this was the final throw of the dice for the piston powered helicopters in the early 1960s. All of these types were very versatile, and in the case of the S58, went on to become gas turbine powered. You've got the Wessexes, a whole family of Wessexes, which lasted, oh gosh, many years, finally being retired in 2004, I think, for the RAF. The Whirlwind, of course, and you had the HAR-10, which was a gas turbine powered version of that helicopter, saw a lot of service in the RAF as a rescue chopper. The CH-37 was superseded by the CH-54, which went on to serve for many years. And the Flying Banana, of course, you could say, well, it led to the CH-46 and the CH-47 Chinook. Two other aircraft I've been working on. I've finished another Buccaneer repaint. This is just a repaint into a Southeast Asian schemed version, although I don't think I've quite got it right. It looks a bit RAF-y. Two Martel missiles, and that's just a simple repaint. Not the happiest with that scheme, as you can see, compared to one which I'm happier with. I don't think the colours quite work on that, but there we go. It's a repaint. And another Navy late 70s Buccaneer jamming pod on that side, and another Martel anti-radiation missile. Now, I've always felt that the Buccaneer was underwhelming in terms of ground attack options when you compare it to, say, the A4 Skyhawk, and you look at the Walleye guided bombs, when you compare it to the Intruder and what that could carry. However, the Buccaneer was, of course, designed as an anti-shipping aircraft, and that's where the Martels were important. You've got an anti-radar version there, and there. And, of course, you had the electro-optical AJ-168 missile. So when you factor in that the Buccaneer had an internal bomb bay, so all of these versions could be carrying either fuel tanks in the bomb bay or 4,000 pound, 4 times 1,000 pound bombs, that's where the Buccaneer held a lot of its power for its ordnance. With the Martels and with those bombs in the bomb bay. So it's not necessarily a case that they didn't have a lot of options for ground attack. It wasn't really intended for that. It was intended for the anti-ship role, and the RAF and Royal Navy really never really took guided weapons to the next level, which would have been land attack guided weapons, either electro-optical or some form of data linked sort of an inertial guidance system. The Americans, of course, did with things like the GBU-8 Hobos as carried by this Javelin. So initially I felt, well, should I attach Walleyes to the Buccaneer And then I felt, well, actually the Martels are doing a fairly decent job of taking out radars anyway, and if you're attacking another target you'd be using an electro-optical Martel. So just a complete tangent, and that's why I haven't really added a lot of what-if weapons to the Buccaneer. So here is the last throw of the dice, the piston-engined helicopters, circa 1965, just as the transition to gas turbine power was taking over. Take care, everyone.